Mr. Padalecki, Mr. Ackles. We had this whole thing in place where the boys were going to do rock and roll music, and then Jared and Jensen would come down from the work they were doing, and it was going to time out perfectly. But I worked in all these cushions in case it didn't. You know, we had these like, well, if that doesn't happen, then this will do, and we'll do this.
It's like you know us.
It's like we've worked together before. Never. I overplanned. I was so ready for any situation. I walked off the stage. They were literally at the bottom of the stairs. I'm like, crap! I didn't know you'd be so on time and stuff.
Well, meanwhile, we're sitting there at the bottom of the stairs, and he's like, when Jared and Jensen come out, and we're I guess he's just like, what is he talking about? Like,
I was killing time. I was doing the thing that I do when I...
Same thing you do when you direct. Yeah.
Okay. You know what, gentlemen? I'm going to get on the stage, but I'm going to make it officially official. Jacksonville, help us celebrate this last convention of 2018 by welcoming Mr. Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki. Mr. Padalecki, Mr. Ackles. We had this whole thing in place where the boys were going to do rock and roll music, and then Jared and Jensen would come down from the work they were doing, and it was going to time out perfectly. But I worked in all these cushions in case it didn't. You know, we had these like, well, if that doesn't happen, then this will do, and we'll do this.
It's like you know us.
It's like we've worked together before. Never. I overplanned. I was so ready for any situation. I walked off the stage. They were literally at the bottom of the stairs. I'm like, crap! I didn't know you'd be so on time and stuff.
Well, meanwhile, we're sitting there at the bottom of the stairs, and he's like, when Jared and Jensen come out, and I guess he's just like, what is he talking about? Like,
I was killing time. I was doing the thing that I do when I...
Same thing you do when you direct. Yeah.
Okay. You know what, gentlemen? I'm going to get on the stage, but I'm going to make it officially official. Jacksonville, help us celebrate this last convention of 2018 by welcoming Mr. Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki.
Guys and gals. Any first-timers to our last convention? So far, so good. What was the worst part?
Yeah, that introduction, I think, was probably the worst part.
Stretching it out, just milking it, just overshooting it. It's 18 takes. He's not here to defend himself. Thank y'all for bringing us back.
How we doing, Florida?
Thank y'all very much for bringing us back. My thoughts exactly. We are right almost halfway between the first and the end of episode 13, also known as episode 300. Day 4, and we finish up on Friday, but there's nowhere else we'd rather be to kind of co-celebrate whilst shooting than here with our SPN family. So thanks a bunch for bringing us down here. We tried to bring some sun, but there was no sun where we came from.
There's a little sun out there right now.
Actually, yeah.
A little bit. We came from the rain, so I feel like we kind of maybe brought the rain.
Did you bless the rain?
We did bless the rain. We blessed it.
Bless the rain's down in Jacksonville. Look, it's funny, all right? It's good material.
Give me the elbows.
Yeah. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Let's do this mess. You want to go over there?
Yeah.
Go over here. Why don't we start over here?
No,
you want to start over there? We can go start over there.
Okay, fine.
Let's just go over here.
That's
I think we did it over there last time, so maybe we should probably go back over here.
Five here, five.
So, we're going left.
Hi. If you both could say one thing to your respective characters, what would you say?
To our psychic characters?
To your respective
characters, got it.
So, yes.
We can say one thing.
Or your psychic characters. Who's this?
I'm not hearing too good. Yuck. If I could say one thing to my character, I think I would probably tell him to stay in the bunker. Just to increase the Wi-Fi signal. You know what I'm saying? And there are scary things out there, so just take it easy. You have a cool little, Chernobyl style bunker. Make the most of it. Decorate a little bit. A little bit of flair. Some posters. The what? Girl Digest? Architectural Digest. Busty Asian Beauties. Better Homes and Gardens.
Well, we talked about this a little bit this morning in the goal panel, but I would probably tell Dean about the filling a hula hoop with salt. And you could just kind of cruise your way right through any situation. I would also tell him,
do the dance.
Use your imagination. I would also tell Dean, I don't need you to use your imagination. Or your psychic character to use your imagination. I would also tell Dean to maybe oil the doors on the Impala. It's about time. We get it, there's some nostalgic aspect to it, but oil the freaking doors. You're waking up the neighbors.
This question is for Jared. I believe it was in season 2, and I believe you were filming in the cemetery. And as you were leaving, you said, I think she broke my hand, and the next episode you were wearing a cast. So I was wondering how you broke your hand while you were filming that episode.
So I actually broke my hand in episode 2. There was a scene where I get hit on the back of the head with a telephone, and I walk into a motel room, and I walk this way, and I sense something behind me, and so I turn, and there's a vampire, and I punch the vampire, but another one has come up behind me with a I'm leaking, with a telephone, and smacks me on the back of the head. And so I'm shedding. So as I fell, they're holding the camera there, and I fell, and I acted like I was passed out. The last second, I kind of put my hand out to the side to catch myself, in order to, it was August 14th, in order to, it was my friend's birthday. And so to catch myself, because the stuntman who I just knocked out, supposedly knocked down, was there in front of me, so I put my hand out to catch myself, but the angle was incorrect, and so I snapped my wrist bone, and I got up, and Bob Singer was directing. I think it was episode 2, it could have been episode 3. Bloodlust? It was one of the vampire episodes in season 2. Anyways, I'm kind of like, oh man. And for whatever reason, we went one more time. This time I didn't fall on my hand. And we cut. It was the last shot of the day. And my hand was just hurting. Like it kind of hurt to make a fist, hurt to wash my hands. And so a couple days later, I was like, my hand is still hurting, man. I think it's bruised. Anyways, I went and got it x-rayed, and it was broken. My wrist was broken. But we'd already started shooting the episode. Actually, the scene in the cemetery where my pants ripped, it was already broken because I'd gotten an x-ray, but they couldn't put the cast on during that episode, so we had to wait until the following episode to get surgery on it. I still have some cool scars. But yeah, so I guess that entire episode, my hand is broken, my wrist. I want to go back and watch now and see. You can see, as a matter of fact, there's a scene where we get into the Impala, and he's in the driver's seat, and I get in, and I reach across with my left hand to close the door, as opposed to just doing this. It's because my hand was hurting so badly. So yeah, fun fact, fun behind the scenes.
Will you just sit down?
I'm not gonna break anything again yet.
You're making me nervous, man.
Good. Thank you for your time.
Okay, so my friends and I sometimes send each other like reaction memes of you guys and of Misha, and
I do that all the time to all of my friends, and it pisses them off so much. It's not fair! I don't have memes of myself on my phone that I can send. Often it's the black and white one of this. I wish we got residuals for that, because anyway, sorry.
and then so I was wondering if you had like a favorite meme.
See, it's my psychic character. That's what I would ask my psychic character. Yes, yes. There's that one. The black.
This is mine. And now you know why.
I don't know how you and your friends are to each other on texts. My friends and I are very mean to each other. So I also will often use, if I don't use the shocked, like what did you just say to me? I'll use Sam like crying profusely in the Heart episode, or Dean also crying. So it's just like, oh, you hurt my feelings, and it's some epic cry face. And there's another one that's really creepy, and it's of me kind of doing like a white, I think it was Soulless Sam in a white button-down shirt, and it kind of makes my skin crawl a little bit. And so I pass it along. I send it to Jen a lot. She doesn't like it. But yeah, those are the ones that I send. Mr. Ackles?
So I have this text thread that has been going for over 5 years with 5 of my friends that I've known. Some I've known since I was 12 years old. Jason Vance is one of them, and we all had our first child within a year of each other. So every Friday, we call it Father Friday, we put a picture of our kid or kids now. And
they multiply?
They have. Because I think we all now have multiple children. But we will text a picture of our kids to these 5 other friends of ours. And we call it, Father Friday. On that text thread, there's other conversations that happen as well. And I have used myself to meme several conversations. And one time I did, it was a meme of Ryan Reynolds going like this. And I sent that, and then immediately they were like, oh wow, I'm really shocked that you didn't find one of yourself to send. That's awesome. Look guys, he's growing up. And immediately I sent me going like this. And it was so perfect. I'm still proud of that today.
You should be.
I am.
What are your favorite supernatural memes to send?
What was that?
Basically, same question. Do you send any supernatural memes to your friends?
It is hard to hear over there.
Oh,
It's like, no, I thought this was a Gotham convention. I don't...
It's Jensen mostly.
Which one?
I have like a whole folder.
Oh, good.
you can do a meme folder?
There's like a lot of you and Jared and Misha, a lot of Misha. You just make.
She's basically saying you need to be more expressive and make stupid faces.
Sam is not expressive.
Like this one.
Awesome.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Glad we could help you with your meme game.
What is a unique theme from the show that you try to exemplify on a somewhat normal basis?
Great question. And a bit of a stumper.
one of the themes of the show that we try to exemplify on a regular basis is really thinking hard before we answer a question.
That's so stupid. I got one. It's never quitting.
Even when we should quit acting like
As exemplified with 14 seasons. Thank God. Yeah, much like the Winchesters, you can't kill us either.
Because we are not the lose Chesters. Yeah, never quitting and sacrificing. Sacrificing for the greater good, ideally. What we think of the greater good. Thanks so much.
Hi, I promised my daughter that I wouldn't ask an inappropriate question, so here goes with a serious one.
No, come on now.
There's so many going through my mind. You just don't want to.
You're gonna give up this opportunity? For your daughter?
So do the writers, especially with all this many years on the show, do the writers let y'all have some input in the story or the scene, or let you improv and like, I really want it to go this way, not that way? How much say do you have in some of the things that happen?
Well, we're a lot bigger than the writers are. So, do the writers let us, or do we just do it anyways? I think it's probably
That's what I would do.
We have a really great relationship with our writers, and it's been such a long time. And by and large, we've played Sam and Dean longer than the writers have written Sam and Dean. So they trust us, and we trust them, and they trust us. So it's a pretty unique, neat relationship that I think only happens when you've done 299 and counting episodes of a TV show. And so, yeah. And we also don't waste their time. You know, if there's a line in the script where Dean says, "Hey, where are you going, Sammy?" And I say, "I am going to the store," and I decide to say, "I'm going to the store," I'm not going to call the writers and be like, "Hey, instead of I am, can I say I'm?" You know, so contractions are allowed. So we stick with what we think is really pertinent or crucial to our characters and or to the storyline at large. But we're not in a position too often where we need to make a phone call.
Yeah, I'd say he's being modest when, you know, about I am, but truthfully, I think they have given us a liberty to kind of massage the dialogue if we think we need to in order to enhance the scene or to better, you know, to keep it within character to some degree, and they trust us to make those decisions on the day if need be. If it's a major story point, or it's something that is that needs discussion, then we'll call down and we'll have a meeting of the minds about it, and usually come to a very quick decision. And they do trust us in that capacity to help make those decisions. They take our notes, we take their explanations, and it's a really it's a great relationship, and it has been ever since the get-go. I mean, Kripke really kind of set up a community between the writers, the producers, and directors, and the actors, and everybody's working to make the best show that we can. And I think that's one of the great things about our set is the best idea wins, whether it's from the writer or the director or the actor or our on-set carpenter. And to be honest, we've all worked together so long that those guys do have suggestions. You know, in fact, Dave, our on-set carp, came up to me the other day and he was like, "Man, I think it'd be really cool if when you said this line, you walked over and picked this thing up." And I'm just throwing it out there, and I did it. It was a great idea because he's the guy who's watched the show all, you know, for many, many years, and he's got investment into these characters and into the storyline. So to have a crew that we have that isn't just punching a clock, everybody's there to make the best show that we can from the top down, and so there's a really cool relationship, not just with the actors and the writers, but with the whole crew, the whole company.
And it's also nice because sometimes there'll be just logistical problems. You know, it's Sam and Dean walking over. The other day, we were doing a scene, it was in a hospital, and the scene, it's written where Sam does something to one of the machines in the hospital, but the way the scene was blocked out, Dean was closer to the machine, so it made sense for him to do it instead of Sam. So we were like, all right, well, let's change it, because why would Sam walk all the way over there to check something when Dean would just do it? So
we've even just, you know, like I'll walk in, and if I was the first one that made sense for me to enter a room, but he had the first line, and the line was, you know, where did they go? He'll just be like, you just take that. Then got it. So then, you know, and that's not something that we can call down to Los Angeles and bother these guys who are really thinking on a larger scale of what the show needs to be. Those are just the little, that's minutia that we kind of handle on a day-to-day basis, and they trust us to do that.
Everything runs smoothly. Yeah.
Very cool.
Thank you so much for your question.
Makes the show even better. Catch me later for the perfect ones.
How would you think the plot of the show would have been affected if John would have died in the fire instead of Mary?
I don't think it would have changed much. Because you look at Mary and you look at her past, she's a badass. She was also a hunter. So if something supernatural happened to John, she would have probably gone on the same wagon that John did and gone on a massive revengeance, to catch revenge. And she would have dragged her boys with her. And I think that's, I could definitely see that happening. I mean, I'm sure there may have been some differences in how she would have gone about it, but yeah, I don't know that it would be much different. And she would have, of course, sacrificed herself for her sons, just like the way that John did.
Yeah, we've seen her.
I think.
Now that we have a new mom, we've seen her do that, make sacrifices for the greater good and for hunting and for her boys. Yeah, I think Sam maybe would have had a different experience because he lost his mom and left his dad. I think he'd probably lose his dad and maybe not, I mean, who knows? Maybe not leave his mom unless she went way into the hunting world, which, as Jensen said, she probably would, since she was the hunter in the first place. And I'm sure Sam, knowing that, you know, Mary made a deal that affected Yellow Eyes and him as a baby, Sam probably would have had a grudge against her. Sam likes grudges against his parents. So, I mean, you give him a parent or a grandparent, he'll find something to be mad at them for. But I think it still would have been a pretty interesting story to watch. Maybe we'll see. Maybe there'll be an alternate universe where we can see it. It's a great idea. Great question. Okay. I don't know.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. It's a great question.
I don't have a choice.
It's okay.
So I was wondering if there's any recent parenting fails where we were like, oh shit, like I can't believe that just happened.
Yeah, this wasn't really I guess we can call this a fail. Jen and I, we wanted to kind of make the house festive, and the boys were begging. We travel so much, the boys were like, can we stay in Austin for Christmas? Like, of course. You know what, let's try and make it a cool festive, and we like lights, and we decided to put some trees in the boys' rooms, you know, little small trees, but like have them, they both did ornaments at their schools, and it's like, cool, this would be a neat, and then before Christmas we'll all get together and put up a big tree downstairs. This is an accidental fail. So Shep, who I call Drunk Jared, he'll be 5 in a week, but he's a pretty curious little kid, and I guess they were kind of misbehaving a little bit, so Genevieve was like, Tom, Shep, go to your rooms. You just both need to kind of take some time, so go to your rooms, read a book, whatever. And about 15 minutes later, Tom starts yelling, Mom, Mom! And so Jen kind of goes up, she's like, yes. And they've all been sick, and Tom goes, Shep, he figured out a way to make the lights shock him. Shep had to unplug the lights, and unscrewed them, and then plugged it back in and touched the part. Yeah. Funny, but not funny. And so Jen calls me, and it's another one of these moments where Jen calls, and I'm like, hey! And I see her face like, hey. She's like, I need you to talk to Shep. I was like, what's going on? She's like, well, he almost tried to kill himself in front of the house now. Okay, well, tell me some more info so I know what's going on. So I Shep gets on FaceTime. I'm like, hey buddy, what happened? He's like, the lights got unplugged. Okay, what else happened? And Jen's like, you're not gonna get in trouble, just tell your dad. He's like, well, I turned them in a circle. Like, you turn the lights in a circle. He's like, yeah, and then they came off. And when you touch it, it makes you feel funny. So, yeah, it's sort of an accidental fail, but you gotta be on your toes with these little guys. When our deck gets bigger.
Trust me, you'll be fine. I was recently one of the parents chaperoning a field trip for my daughter's kindergarten class. And I was the only dad. Which was fine, because I think there was like 4 moms and then me and the teachers. And so I was basically just the pack mule. Like, they'd load me up at the cooler and all the snacks and the backpacks and the jackets, and I'm just, which is fine. But at a certain point, they were like doing some like arts and crafts or something. This was out at a farm, and I noticed that JJ was trying to get to the front where she could hear the counselor lady explain what was going to happen, and one of the little boys shoved her. Because she kind of came up next to him, and he just turns and goes, boom! And then she turns around and like shoves him back, and nobody sees this but me. And shoves him back, and then he's like about to, it's about to escalate. And so I just kind of grab his arm and I just kind of move him over here. I wanted to do more. And I diffused it very quickly before anybody really even saw it. And then because I did that, he kind of got upset and went over to his mom, who happened to be there as well. Didn't say anything, was just like upset. And mom was like, what's wrong, what's wrong? And he was just like, no. So I was like, a little punk. And that wasn't necessarily the fail. The fail came later when we were going over to the goat pen, and these goats had horns. And it said very clearly on the gate to stay back from the fence because the horns can get through and can get you. So I walked a few of them over there to supervise, and here comes little buddy. Why don't you go see if one can come over to you? And one started to kind of motor over to him, and he was right against the fence, and I was literally just holding the other like 4 kids back. And I'm like, shh, just let it happen. I will say though that before the goat got too close, I reached over and I grabbed the back of his collar. I grabbed the guy in his collar, pulled him back, and I was like, no, let's go, come on back. But it was an attempted fail. I gotta be careful, I gotta curb that, because I know I'm gonna be put in that situation a lot with 3 kids.
So this is the way he pulled the kid back. Right as the goat was getting close, he's like, all right. I was saving him. I had to save him from the goat. The goat was gonna get him. Back up, kid, back up. Yeah. Hey. That's good parenting.
Anyway, I think that's good parenting.
Well, I had a moment at the trailers, at the food trailers. I never told the nice story. Okay, I'll tell that. I don't repeat it. Thank you so much.
Bye.